Some people don't disappear in explosions or headlines. They fade. One day, they exist. They have routines, names, plans for tomorrow. And then, without warning, they slip out of the world's attention, not with a scream, but with silence. These are the people no one was looking for right away. The ones without press conferences. Without candlelight vigils. Without urgent breaking news banners. By the time anyone noticed they were gone, the trail was already cold. A man doesn't show up for work. A neighbor assumes he moved. Weeks pass. Then months. A woman misses a family gathering. Someone says she needed space. A teenager stops posting online. Friends think they logged off. And just like that, time moves on. These cases are the most unsettling, not because they're dramatic, but because they're easy to miss. There's no clear moment where everything goes wrong. No single point where alarm bells ring. Just absence. Police reports, if they're filed at all, are often delayed. By then, CCTV footage is overwritten. Phone records are incomplete. Witnesses can't remember exact dates. Streets that once held answers have been walked over 1,000 times. The world erases evidence without even realizing it. What makes these disappearances different is not how they happen, but how quietly they are accepted. Some of the missing were loners. Others were struggling. Some were immigrants, runaways, elderly, or people without strong support systems. Their absence didn't disrupt many lives. And that made it easier for the system to let go. Files get thinner. Investigations slow. Leads dry up. Eventually, cases are marked inactive. Not solved. Not closed. Just waiting. Families are told there's nothing more to go on. That adults have the right to disappear. That sometimes people choose to start over. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Starting over is not easy. It requires money, planning, contacts, documents. And most of the people who vanish without a trace don't have any of those things. They leave behind belongings. Phones, IDs, bank accounts untouched. They don't withdraw cash. They don't travel. They don't resurface under new names. They simply stop existing in records. Which raises a terrifying question. If they didn't choose to disappear, and no one saw them leave, then where did they go? In many cases, there are no signs of violence. No witnesses to foul play. No clear suspects. Just a normal day that quietly becomes the last day anyone ever sees them. And that's what makes these disappearances so disturbing. Because they don't feel like crimes. They feel like errors. As if someone slipped through a crack in reality and the world sealed itself behind them. These are the forgotten people. The ones lost not because no one cared, but because the moment to act passed without anyone realizing it mattered. And once that moment is gone, it never comes back. Every disappearance has a final moment. A last sighting. A last message. A last ordinary action that no one knew was important at the time. These moments don't feel dramatic when they happen. They feel normal. Routine. Forgettable. And that's why they're so dangerous. A man is seen buying groceries. A woman leaves her apartment to run errands. A student walks out of class, backpack over one shoulder. They don't look afraid. They don't look rushed. They don't look like someone about to vanish. Then they are never seen again. In many forgotten cases, the last sighting is painfully mundane. No arguments. No threats. No signs of distress. CCTV footage shows them walking calmly. Phone records show nothing unusual. Bank accounts go quiet immediately afterward. It's as if the person stepped out of the frame of reality. Investigators often return to these moments, replaying them again and again. They slow down footage. They zoom into backgrounds. They analyze body language, clothing, timing. Did someone follow them? Did they meet someone they trusted? Did they take a turn they didn't usually take? Most of the time, there are no answers. Witnesses can only say what they think they remember. Memory blurs quickly. Days later, details fade. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? Morning or afternoon? Did the person seem distracted, or was that imagined later? By the time questions are asked, certainty is already gone. In some cases, the last sighting comes from a single witness. A cashier, a bus driver, a neighbor. And that witness becomes the center of the entire case. But witnesses are human. They forget faces. They confuse times. They fill gaps without realizing it. And when the missing person doesn't match a clear profile, not wealthy, not famous, not young, not privileged, urgency drops. Searches shrink. Resources thin. Attention moves elsewhere. Sometimes the last sighting is digital. A final text message sent. A social media post uploaded. At last seen online, timestamp frozen in time. Then silence. Phones go dead. Accounts stay inactive. No logins. No activity. To investigators, this is both a clue and a nightmare. If a person intended to disappear, they usually leave traces. Preparations. Messages. Withdrawals. Digital footprints pointing forward. But in forgotten cases, everything just stops. No goodbye. No plan. No direction. One of the most haunting aspects of these disappearances is how often the last sighting happens in public. Busy streets. Train stations. Shopping centers. Places filled with people. And yet, no one sees anything. No screams. No struggle. No clear crime. Just a gap. It forces a terrifying realization. You can vanish without being taken. Without being chased. Without anyone noticing. You can walk into a crowd and never come back out. And the world will keep moving. The last sighting becomes a marker in time, a point investigators circle endlessly, hoping it will speak. But it never does. It just sits there. Quiet. Waiting. Some disappearances happen in places that should be safe. That's what makes them unbearable. Busy streets. Apartment buildings with neighbors on every floor. Public transport. Workplaces with cameras and security. These are not remote forests or empty highways. These are places where people are watching. And yet, people still vanish. In many forgotten cases, the missing person was last seen surrounded by others. Walking through a station. Entering a store. Leaving an office. Cameras capture them arriving, but never leaving. Investigators replay footage frame by frame. They watch the person enter. They wait for them to exit. They wait, and wait, and wait. Nothing. No clear abduction. No struggle caught on camera. No obvious escape route. It feels impossible. But plain sight can be deceiving. Crowds create anonymity. Noise hides moments of danger. Familiar environments lower everyone's guard, including the victims. People assume someone else is paying attention. And so, no one truly is. Some cases suggest the missing person willingly walked away with someone they trusted. A friend. A coworker. A casual acquaintance. Someone who didn't raise alarms. Trust is a powerful weapon. Other cases hint at something even darker. That the disappearance happened quickly. Quietly. Without resistance. A door held open. A conversation that turns. A moment of confusion. Seconds are enough. And in public spaces, seconds vanish instantly. Investigators often discover that the missing person changed something small that day. A different route. A delayed schedule. An unexpected stop. These tiny deviations break patterns, and patterns are what keep people safe. Once a routine breaks, predictability disappears. And predictability is what witnesses rely on. When routines change, danger slips in unnoticed. There's also the uncomfortable reality of bias. Some missing people are taken seriously immediately. Others are not. If someone lives alone, struggles with mental health, or has no strong advocate, their disappearance is often labeled as voluntary for far too quickly. They probably left. They'll come back. They wanted space. Days pass. Then weeks. And by the time urgency returns, the trail is gone. In some cases, security footage reveals the most chilling detail of all. The missing person pauses. They look around. They hesitate, as if they sense something isn't right. But then they continue. That moment becomes haunting in hindsight. Because whatever happens next, happens off camera. Vanishing in plain sight doesn't mean no one was there. It means no one saw. And that distinction matters. Because it reveals how fragile safety really is. You don't need darkness. You don't need isolation. You don't need chaos. You just need a moment where attention slips. And when that happens, a person can disappear, and not into shadows, but into everyday life. Leaving behind nothing but questions. And questions don't scream. They whisper. Every disappearance leaves something behind. A shoe. A phone. A receipt. A half-finished message. These clues feel important when they're found. They create hope. They suggest direction. They give investigators something to hold on to. And then they lead nowhere. In forgotten cases, clues don't open doors. They close them. A phone is found abandoned, but its last ping covers miles. A wallet turns up intact, suggesting robbery wasn't the motive. A car is discovered part legally, locked, with nothing missing. Each clue answers one question, and creates 5 more. Investigators often follow these threads until they collapse under their own weight. Phone records show no suspicious calls. GPS data ends abruptly. Credit cards go unused. Bank accounts freeze in time. The silence is total. In some cases, the clue itself becomes the mystery. Why leave a phone behind in an age where phones are lifelines? Why abandon a vehicle that could help you escape? Why leave money untouched? These aren't the choices of someone planning a new life. They're the marks of interruption. Something stopped the person mid-action. But what? Families cling to these clues. They replay possibilities endlessly. They wonder if they missed something obvious. A call they didn't answer. A message they didn't read fast enough. Investigators feel the same frustration. A single piece of evidence can keep a case open for years, not because it explains anything, but because it refuses to explain itself. Sometimes the clues are misleading. A sighting turns out to be wrong. A tip leads to a look-alike. A rumor spreads, creating false hope that drains resources and time. Other times, the clue is genuine, but meaningless without context. A jacket found miles away. A bag recovered near water. Keys discovered in an unexpected place. Without witnesses, these items become symbols instead of evidence. They represent presence without explanation. And then there are the cases where clues disappear entirely. Evidence is lost. Footage is erased. Records are incomplete. Not because of conspiracy, but because systems are imperfect. Cameras overwrite data. Paperwork is misfiled. Databases don't connect. Time erases faster than truth can catch up. In forgotten cases, clues don't pile up. They thin out. Each year that passes removes another possibility. Another path investigators can no longer walk. And eventually, there's a moment no one talks about. The moment when the case stops moving forward. No new tips. No new leads. No new questions. Just files. Sitting on shelves. Waiting. Clues that led nowhere don't mean nothing happened. They mean something happened that left no clear shape behind. Something that didn't follow rules. Something that didn't want to be found. And once clues lose their power, all that remains is uncertainty. There is a moment in every long-term missing person case that no one announces out loud. It's the moment when the search quietly stops. Not because answers were found. Not because the person was located. But because there was nothing left to chase. In forgotten cases, this moment comes faster than anyone wants to admit. Police resources are limited. New cases arrive every day. When a disappearance offers no clear suspect, no crime scene, and no fresh leads, attention slowly drifts away. The file stays open. But the effort fades. Detectives are reassigned. Search budgets disappear. Follow-ups become occasional instead of urgent. And eventually, the case is labeled inactive. That word sounds harmless. It isn't. Inactive doesn't mean solved. It doesn't mean closed. It means the system no longer knows what to do. Families are often told the same thing. We'll call if something comes up. There are no new leads. Adults have the right to go missing. Those words carry weight. They signal the end of momentum. In some cases, early assumptions damage everything. If investigators believe the person ran away, suffered from mental illness, or left voluntarily, urgency collapses. Searches are smaller. Interviews are fewer. Time is wasted. And time is the one thing disappearances never forgive. By the time doubt creeps in, by the time someone realizes this might not have been voluntary, the trail is already gone. Witnesses have moved. Memories have faded. Evidence has decayed. What makes this even harder is that walking away doesn't always come from indifference. Sometimes it comes from helplessness. Investigators hit walls they can't break. No phone data. No financial activity. No sightings. No patterns. Just silence. And silence doesn't give probable cause. Without probable cause, there are no warrants. Without warrants, there are no searches. Without searches, there are no discoveries. So the case sits. Years pass. Birthdays go unmarked. Holidays feel wrong. Families keep waiting. Some create their own investigations. They hang posters. They post online. They call strangers who look similar. They chase tips police can't follow. Most of those tips lead nowhere. But they keep going. Because for families, inactive isn't acceptable. The most haunting part? Some of these cases are revisited years later, and suddenly, patterns emerge. Similar disappearances. Shared locations. Common behaviors. But by then, it's too late. The chance to act passed quietly. No dramatic failure. No single mistake. Just a slow retreat. When authorities walk away, they don't always mean to abandon the missing. But the result feels the same. A person disappears once when they vanish. They disappear again when the search stops. And in that second disappearance, hope becomes the rarest thing of all. In many forgotten disappearances, the truth doesn't stay silent forever. It waits. Witnesses come forward months later. Sometimes years. Sometimes decades. And when they do, they often begin with the same sentence. I didn't think it mattered at the time. They saw someone arguing on a sidewalk. They noticed a stranger lingering too long. They heard a scream that stopped suddenly. They gave a ride to someone who seemed scared. At the moment, it felt ordinary, or confusing, or easy to dismiss. Life moved on. Only later, when a missing person's face appeared on a screen or a poster, did realization hit. That moment, that detail, that was important. But time had already done its damage. Memories are not recordings. They shift. They soften. Details blur. Faces merge. Timelines bend. What felt clear once becomes uncertain. Witnesses struggle to answer basic questions. What time was it exactly? What was the person wearing? Which direction did they go? I'm not sure. I think. It might have been. And uncertainty weakens everything. Investigators rely on precision. Without it, they can't act. A witness who comes forward too late may be telling the truth, but truth without clarity is fragile. In some cases, witnesses stay silent out of fear. Fear of being wrong. Fear of involvement. Fear of consequences. They convince themselves it's nothing. Until it's everything. And then there are witnesses who speak too late because no one asked them sooner. Their names were never taken. Their stories were never recorded. They were just part of the background. Forgotten. By the time they're found, the moment they observed is disconnected from any larger context. The people involved may be gone. Locations changed. Evidence erased. The witness becomes a voice calling into the past. In some cases, these late testimonies reveal patterns. Similar sightings. Similar behaviors. Similar locations. Threads that could have been followed earlier. But now, those threads are frayed. One of the most tragic aspects of forgotten disappearances is that clarity often arrives only after urgency is gone. When the pressure has lifted. When the case is cold. When action is no longer possible. Witnesses carry guilt for years. They wonder if speaking sooner would have changed everything. If a life could have been saved. Sometimes, they're right. Sometimes, they're not. But the question never leaves. What if? The truth is, disappearances don't always fail because of darkness or evil. They fail because of delay. Because moments that matter don't announce themselves. And by the time they do, it's already too late. When facts disappear, theories take their place. In forgotten cases, theories don't arrive all at once. They build slowly, shaped by gaps, silence, and frustration. Investigators revisit files late at night, staring at timelines that don't connect, locations that don't align, and people who seem to vanish between moments. One common theory is voluntary disappearance. That the person chose to leave. To start over. To escape a life they couldn't carry anymore. It sounds reasonable on paper. But the details rarely support it. No money withdrawn. No travel records. No contact with anyone afterward. Starting over requires preparation. It leaves traces. Forgotten disappearances usually don't. Another theory is accidental death. A fall. A medical emergency. An unseen hazard. Perhaps the person wandered into water, woods, or an abandoned place and was never found. This explains some cases. But not all. Because accidents still leave something behind. A body. Clothing. A vehicle. And in many cases, exhaustive searches turn up nothing. Then there is foul play. The most uncomfortable explanation. That someone intervened. Quietly. Efficiently. Without witnesses. Without obvious violence. Crimes of opportunity don't always look dramatic. They can happen fast. They can happen indoors. They can happen where no one is watching closely enough. But without evidence, investigators can't act. Suspicion without proof goes nowhere. Some investigators consider patterns. Similar disappearances in the same area. Similar victim profiles. Similar timing. These patterns suggest something systematic. Something ongoing. But patterns are fragile. They can disappear as easily as they appear. And then there are theories no one likes to say out loud. That some people fall through cracks no one can see. That systems fail. That records break. That human attention isn't constant. Not every disappearance has a villain. Not every mystery has a solution. And that may be the hardest theory of all. That some cases remain unsolved not because of conspiracy or evil, but because reality is indifferent. Investigators carry these questions long after cases go cold. They revisit them when new technology emerges. DNA databases. Facial recognition. Digital tracking. Sometimes, these tools reopen doors. Most of the time, they don't. Theories haunt investigators because they represent paths not taken. Questions not asked early enough. Assumptions that shape decisions. And once a case becomes haunted by theory instead of driven by evidence, it begins to drift further from resolution. Which leads to the final question. If so many people have vanished without answers, what does that say about the world they disappeared from? The hardest part of a disappearance is not the mystery. It's the waiting. Because when there is no body, no proof, and no ending, the story never truly stops. It lingers in the background of everyday life, unresolved, unfinished. Families live in a permanent in-between. They don't grieve the way others do. They don't move on the way people expect. They exist in a space where hope and fear coexist. Every unidentified body raises questions. Every unknown face sparks doubt. Every phone call could be the one. In forgotten cases, the missing don't feel gone. They feel paused. Some families believe their loved ones are still alive. That they're out there somewhere, living under a different name, trapped in circumstances they couldn't escape. Others believe something terrible happened, but without proof, belief becomes a burden. Both possibilities hurt. If they're alive, why haven't they come back? If they're gone, why was nothing ever found? These questions don't fade with time. They sharpen. What makes these cases so unsettling is how easily they could happen again. Nothing extraordinary is required. No dramatic crime. No remote wilderness. Just a moment. A missed detail. A delayed report. A wrong assumption. And a person is erased from the record of everyday life. The world continues as if nothing happened. That's the part we don't like to confront. Disappearance doesn't need chaos. It doesn't need darkness. It needs indifference. Forgotten people aren't forgotten because they didn't matter. They're forgotten because attention moved on. And attention is fragile. Some cases will eventually be solved. Technology will advance. DNA will match. Records will connect. Names will be restored. But many won't. They will remain unanswered stories, carried only by those who remember. And perhaps that's the final truth of these disappearances. Not every mystery ends with revelation. Not every life leaves a trace. But remembering them matters. Because forgetting is the final disappearance. And as long as their stories are told, they are not completely lost.